Welcome back, everyone, to WWTA News. Thank you for joining us again. We've got more things to talk about, and as usual, before we jump into our topics to talk about, can I get you to hit that like button? And if you haven't already subscribed, please just subscribe to the channel. That way you can stay tuned in to more videos as they get released. Also, if you have any family, friends, or loved ones that you think could use this information, please share the video over to them. Get them involved in this space and get them learning just as much as you're learning, as fast as you can learn it. And with that being said, what is today's topic? Today's topic, something I really want to talk about, is why CBDCs are going to be good for international living and traveling, and why would you want to internationally live and or travel? So yeah, this is all pretty much just dealing from the mindset of the United States as a citizen, and I'm not sure if we all understand what a citizen is. It's just an employee to the United States, and so you fall under a category of rules and regulations set by your employer, which is the United States, obviously. Now, if you decide that you want to live internationally, or you want to no longer be an employee of the United States, which would be basically denouncing or renouncing your citizenship, or denouncing it, cutting it off, right? Yeah, cutting it off. I believe it's cutting it off. If you wouldn't cut off your citizenship and then get residency, or even then apply for citizenship in another country, which to me just basically means I want to be employed, right? So I can receive benefits from that company, i.e. whichever country it is you go to set up and do business with. You can do those things. I'm just saying, looking at residency in other places is something that you can pick up. And just, you have people that, do nomadic living. I'm not really into that. But the reference or the point of this conversation is why I think CBDCs are pretty much going to be relevant and why we do need those things to exist. So you're probably saying, that sounds crazy. We like Bitcoin and all this other stuff, right? Well, let me tell you why I think CBDCs are going to be important. And just hear me out before you go crazy. Just think about this. If each country has a digital currency, which is their digital currency that belongs to them, then it's accepted, and people then, okay, let's talk about businesses. All right, so a country has a central bank digital currency. Let's use the United States. Let's say the United States has a central bank digital currency, and let's say they call it FedCoin. Not that they have that, none of that. I'm just saying pure speculation. Let me help you understand what a CBDC can actually do in the grand scheme of the bigger picture. So aside from cryptocurrencies, aside from all that stuff going on, let's just look at the United States with its own central bank digital currency, which means that we're going to make a central bank for the United States, and this currency is going to be the currency that's used and trusted within the United States. It does not have to be trusted in other countries or other corporations. It's just the only one that's trusted in the United States, which is accepted for all things in the United States. Now let's just back up and take this all in. Imagine you're going to Walmart and there's all these different currencies that exist, because right now there's all these different currencies that do exist, and you can use any one of these currencies. That doesn't mean that Walmart has to accept these currencies that you have. Let's say Walmart wants to have a currency that they trust that's not going to be volatile, right? That's not going to go up and down in value, right? So let's just say Walmart wants to accept a non-volatile currency that is accepted all over the United States. And we're only talking about the United States for this conversation. We're not going to talk about other countries yet. Let's just deal with the United States concept of Walmart in the United States. So they want something that's non-volatile, which is accepted all over the United States, and they can pay their debts and bills with, right? All right, so let's just think about this. There's a central bank digital currency they created. They call it the FedCoin. And Walmart says, oh man, you can't beat that. We already pay our federal taxes and everything else, and in dollars or whatever. And this is going to be the equivalent to $1. It's going to be a digital version that's running on the blockchain. Okay, this makes sense. We're okay with that, right? All right. So once that happens, I can take any currency on the exchange and convert into that quote unquote Fedcoin, whatever they want to call it, that central bank digital currency for the country, that you're in, i.e. we're talking the United States. So let's just imagine I have some Dogecoin and I need to turn some of my Dogecoin into some central bank digital currency. that's accepted at Walmart. So I'm at Walmart, I'm doing my shopping, and Walmart only accepts a central bank digital currency because it's trusted all throughout the United States. It's no problem. It's accepted everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's scared to mess with it. It's not some volatile thing. It's just that's the currency of the country. So it's accepted, right? Now all these other currencies, I've got a bunch of currencies in my wallet, but right now I'm at Walmart, and Walmart only wants to accept the U.S. A central bank digital currency for the United States. Now, this is going to be trusted. All the banks in the United States are going to trust it. Nobody's going to argue and fight with it. It's going to be the Fed coin, quote unquote. Not that it really is when it exists. I'm just basing this on a hypothetical example. Now, I'm at Walmart. I've got some Dogecoin. I say, you know what? I got to spend $150 here. So I'm going to take $150 worth of Dogecoin. I'm going to send it into the exchange right here on my phone right now. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to turn it into $150 of Fed coin that's accepted at Walmart. So now I've swapped it out, and I'm going to go to the register. I'm scanning all my stuff. I'm about to make a payment. I say, boop, 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 make that payment. That payment goes through instantaneously because it's the trusted currency of the United States. So every business in the United States accepts it. So I can leave from Walmart. I can go to any restaurant I want to within the United States because it's a trusted currency to the United States. Now, let's take this and make this an every country thing. So let's say I leave the United States, and let's say I go into Canada. And let's say Canada has their own central bank digital currency. It's trusted all over Canada. So I'm in Canada. The same thing happens. But let's say this time I've got $150 of Fed coin for the United States. And I'm like, well, I'm going to be here in Canada for a while. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and turn $150 worth of this United States central bank digital currency. I'll go ahead and turn it into Canada's central bank digital currency because I can go anywhere while I'm in Canada and I can spend their currency and no questions asked, instantaneous transactions, everything's are good. You know what I'm saying? So now I take Canada's currency. I now converted the United States central bank digital currency into Canada's central bank digital currency. Now I'm going into their Walmart. I'm going into their restaurants. I'm going into their service stations, and that central bank digital currency is accepted all over Canada. It doesn't have to be accepted in the United States. The United States says, nope, we only accept ours, right? So, okay, boom. Not to say that stores particularly can't say I'll accept Dogecoin or I'll accept this coin, because they can accept those things if they're taking on the fact that there's a volatility and they don't mind. They can do things like that, you know. So and you got to remember, not everybody's going to always trust a central bank digital currency, just like not everybody trusts the United States dollar. So again, you have that. Now, if you look at value, right? So right now, you have an issue in the United States where they're trying to uncover what these currencies are. You have, for the most part, cryptocurrencies being treated like a commodity and an asset or property, right? So it's a digital form of property. It's being treated as property, so that's why when you file taxes at the end of the year, you have a gains and loss, right? So as of right now, in the United States, being treated like a commodity are cryptocurrencies, and that's how they are. That doesn't make it what it is. That just is how the United States is carrying it. They're treating it no different than they treat real estate or property. All right. So that's an issue right there in itself, because, you know, is it really the equivalent to property, or is it a currency, right? So we look at something like Doge, and Dogecoin has been designed to be just a currency. So if it's under the premise of a currency, can we really treat it the same way we would treat property, right? You really can't do that, because it's currency property. Like, well, that's my money and it's my property. Well, yes, you could do that. So let me understand this for myself. I'm talking out loud right now. Just run with me. I'm talking out loud. So check it out. The United States dollar is property, but it's not your property, right? So you really can't pay taxes on those dollars. It makes no sense, because those dollars are bank notes, reserve notes, treasury notes that belong to who? The Treasury, right? The Fed prints them out. They have that thing that says Treasury note written on it to let you know it belongs to the Treasury of the United States. So it's their property. So you are only conducting business with their property. So that's why when you move in and out of their Treasury notes, you're paying fees and taxes on that stuff. So let me back up one more time. So and this is my understanding right now. I'm not a financial advisor. This is my basic understanding. You want to find the facts and details, you need to go find a professional. But let me just run with you what I think and understand based on my knowledge right now. So you get into some cryptocurrencies. Your cryptocurrencies, you take a treasury note. You swap that treasury note at an exchange. Let's use Coinbase for an example because we're in the United States, and commonly Coinbase is an easy to access, easy to use exchange. Now I log into a Coinbase account. I've done my KYC and I say, look, I'm going to swap over $100 of these treasury notes to this exchange, and I'm going to get some currency out of it. Right now, I'm basically taking the property that belongs to the United States and I'm exchanging it with an exchange called Coinbase for currency that they're going to give me for these treasury notes. Now, those treasury notes are no longer my responsibility. They then go to Coinbase, and it's Coinbase's responsibility what happens with those treasury notes. All I know is I've now got a currency called Dogecoin, right? I've got me some Dogecoin. Now, what the government can say at this point is, if I go to sell that currency Doge on the exchange, then there's going to be me selling property, which they're calling it. This is why I have an issue. They're calling it property. So now, because I'm coming back into their currency, their finance, their notes, then they're going to penalize me with taxes to come back. So let's say I take that $100 worth of Doge becomes $200 worth of Doge, right? And it's still the same amount of Doge. Let's say it was 50 Doge coins. Let's just example, I'm making it up. Let's say I got 50. I swapped $100 of treasury notes, United States treasury notes, for 50 Doge coin, which had a value of $100 treasury notes, $100 worth of treasury notes of the United States currency. Now I go back to the exchange with that same 50, or I got more. Let's just say I take 50 of them back in there. Now that 50 is now worth $200 of United States treasury notes. So it's increased in value. So the United States is saying at this point, oh wait, you're selling something for our currency, so yeah, you're going to pay a tax on that, a capital gain tax, because you made money off of something that you bought with our treasury notes and our currency, right? It's not even currency, our treasury notes. You took our property, swapped it out, got something that increased in value, and now because you want to come back into our currency, our treasury notes, now you're going to have to pay a penalty, some extra tax, because now we're going to get our portion of what you grew off, what you swapped out of ours, because you're technically just swapping it out. It's a treasury note, it's an IOU note. So you swapped off an IOU note for a time, and then you got some more IOU notes back. So therein lies the issue. All right. So now let's deal with international travel under the same concept. So let's just say, okay, we got the CBDC. Now, if I go to another country, let's say I'm going into Canada, right? And Canada says that there's no penalty for me to swap out at an exchange these cryptocurrencies for their central bank digital currency. Okay, that's fine. That's just how they carry things in their country. You see what I'm saying? Each country could do things differently based on how they want to conduct business. I'm just saying that does open a door when you talk about going into their currency, because it's going to be trusted by the people in their country as a whole because it's their currency. So with that, it's like, okay, I know I'm getting long with it. Just go with me, because this is something to think about, and I want you all to post your comments at the bottom as you think about things, because this is something we should really discuss. It's really interesting. So at this point, you're going into a different country. You know, they have their own central bank digital currency. You can swap off any one of your currencies into their currency, and then it's guaranteed shopping and business. And even if it comes to doing taxes, it makes it that much easier. Just imagine you're in Canada and Walmart has to pay taxes, and you're already swapping in the transaction to the native currency to Canada. No different than if you're in the United States. The currency is the dollar, but now let's say it becomes the CBDC of the United States, and I don't care, we just call it the Fed coins, make believe, we're running with it. So then it's easy for the businesses to say, okay, we accept that central bank digital currency for the United States, a Fed coin or something, just call it whatever, for payment, because then at that moment when they do that transaction, that's the currency coming in. They can already have part of that payment being sent. If they set their contracts up, part of that payment could be set to the payment, and part of it could be set to taxes, so it can move over, because it's one digital currency that's trusted within that country. It's their central bank digital currency trusted within their country. So that clears everything up, makes everything easier for businesses when they're doing taxes and doing business itself. So there's a win-win there. So if every country has their own central bank digital currency for the point of doing business and paying taxes, it works. It helps us all. If I'm in Canada and I'm renting a property and I'm paying taxes or whatever I'm doing in that country, it would help if I can just swap into their central bank digital currency, which is trusted by them, right? And I don't have to worry about all these other hoops and stuff to jump through. They're letting me know, hey, get on the exchange, swap out that, get this, and we'll take a payment in that. Bada boom, bada bing, bada bang. Then nobody has to worry about trusting anybody else because they're trusting their own. Okay? They're trusting their own currency. Now, let's back up. Now you do some online shopping. Let's say an online vendor says they accept 150 different currencies because they don't mind. So you can make payments in 150 different currencies. I'm just making it up as we go. So if they don't mind, and that's how they do business because they're doing international business, that's them doing international business. Could you imagine that you place an order through a business in Canada, and let's say that business in Canada accepts 100 different currencies, and they say they accept Dogecoin. So you make an order for, I don't know, a special vacuum from a store in Canada, and they say, okay, well, it's going to be 50 Dogecoin for that special vacuum, and you pay them 50 Dogecoin instantaneously right on their website, on that transaction. You scan the barcode, bada boom, bada bing, bada bang. Now they've received a payment of Doge because they don't mind accepting these different payments. Do you see how that makes sense? I'm not in that country, but I'm using any currency that I so choose. You see what I'm saying? Not that I can't use their central bank digital currency, because I could, but now, in order to keep an equilibrium in the monetary system, you still have to have cryptocurrencies that are etched out a certain amount so that there is no inflation of it. Because even if, countries create a central bank digital currency, if they're minting it themselves, there can be inflation in it, which makes it no different than what we're doing here in the United States with the dollar. So you still need to have cryptocurrencies in existence operating as they do. And let's just say there's Doge, and I don't know these numbers, but let's just make it up for the sake of argument. Let's say there's minted 5 million Dogecoin, and there'll always only be 5 million Dogecoin, right? Now, and ever minted, right? So let's say, even though some wallets people lost keys to their wallets, so now, even though there was 500 million Dogecoin, there's truly only 470 million, because technically there's some lost in wallets that people lost their keys to. So they still exist, they're just not on the market per se. So they're not tangible because nobody has them to put them back on the market. They're lost in the world of, I don't have my keys. So nonetheless, there's still a hard cap of the 500 million. So there is no inflation or deflation because that's a hard cap. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody creating more and putting it into the system, which is devaluing the rest of the currency. So you have to have cryptocurrency constantly existing for that fact. You know what I'm saying? And that's no different than when we look at, well, technically it's way different, so let me not even bring that up. So technically, you have to have cryptocurrency. So when we talk about traveling and living internationally, and then countries having their own central bank digital currencies, it makes perfect sense. It works. Don't knock the countries for trying to create a central bank digital currency. And I know, stable coins, right? So stable coins exist, and they can do the same thing. Let's say Walmart says, well, we'll accept USDC and USDT and USDD, right? So let's say they accept those things. It's still really no different. You see what I'm saying? Because there's the stability there and there's the trust. Now, I know there was some issues with USDT, so I don't know how that's going right now. I don't really use it unless I have to get a currency that requires me to use USDT. And so on an exchange, I'll convert to USDT and then buy. That is what it is. But I'm just saying, for the sake of what's actually happening right now, yes, stable coins or central bank digital currencies, we need them. You know what I'm saying? It helps create the stability so that businesses can do business with people and other businesses without the fear of volatility.